What up? I'm only halfway through, so there you have it. I may not be as good as I am in a couple minutes. One thing I wanted to remind you of is the Chica by Mr. Paul Gilbert. The rhythmic value is what makes music, and so when you're I realize that's where you're at, but even at a slow pace, try to add rhythm, even if you don't know what it's going to be and it's not that great. So in other words, instead of going through that deal, maybe just accent the first note. Maybe accent the first and the second note. Or start on top. It just adds some rhythm to the monotony of it. One thing I like to do, and I did pretty well for a little while, was playing around with flat 7 and 1. And then going from there, but to kind of establish some kind of feel. From there. Nothing you're going to do without sounding condescending is going to be super awesome, but to get the idea of using the scale for other than scale practice, and so to do that you have to add rhythm to it, leave notes out, hammer on, bend a string, and then play the scale and those kinds of things, and those come with time. And on that note, the notes to bend in your minor pentatonic scale are the 4. And the reason why you can do that is because you're bending up to 5, the most consonant note. There's 5, there's 5. And the most infamous lick of all, which is bending 4, playing 5, and then 1. All that stuff. So try to, listen to a song while you're practicing the scale, like a blues tune, of course, so that you hear rhythm and play over the song. That's something that helped me dramatically through the years, is just putting on an Albert Collins and mimicking him, but also using the rhythm of the band that's going on in that tune to get some inspiration, but to also give you some backbone to have rhythmical ideas. Third of the way through. Now I'm getting there. To your request, our blues in E kind of thing. Adding to that or modifying that, you want to make first sure that you have that down. And it's a boom. And then and the parts there are our E chord hammering on the minor to major third, our quote-unquote A chord over E, and then putting the 5th and flat 7 on top, going back down, and getting used to those parts. You know, E chord is a part, A over E is a part, and then just an E with a 5 and 7 on top. So make sure you have your parts right. And then get the rhythm to it and all of those kinds of things. Adding to it can be a host of things depending on the moment. Something you want to kind of get into your vocabulary is which is just your minor pentatonic scale. We're in E, and you take the flat 3, which is G. There's E. And pluck it and pull it, bend it. It's the same thing as being in your minor pentatonic and bending that minor third or hammering it on. Finishing out the scale and ending it somewhere. There's no specific place. You can go on and on and on about how to do that, but it's something to add to your E vocabulary, is taking that and getting that kind of lick out of it. It's very common. Sounds kind of cool with electric, but it's really a better lick for acoustic, I think. A vocabulary to pull out of our E lick is that portion of it, sliding up to it. There's a million licks from there, but one is just to slide that 5th down to the 4. That kind of thing. Acoustically, it'd be more like. Tough one to do. Remember, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2. But adding to it, now I'm getting hot from my latte. Is taking it to the 4 chord and playing the same riff or lick that you did on the 1 chord, and then there you really have to know your parts and where you're at. In E, you're going to go to A. There again, it's the same thing, but you don't have open strings, so you have to bar your flat 3 and your 5 right out of your 2/4, and hammer on, pull both, your flat 3 and your 5, and hammer on your major third, and then putting 4 and 6, and knowing that a flat 7 is right here above 6. If that's 4, 5 is here. From your 1 chord. About droning yet. I would really key on I look at it as a kind of a cell within a scale. Minor third, 5 to hammer on major third. Same thing as doing this. 4 and 6 right out of your 2/4 shape. Even that can be its own thing. Getting more into a chicken picking style, but for blues. Boom chukka. But know your parts. Minor third 5, major third 5, 4, 6, flat 7, 5. Wherever, whatever key you're in, if you're in C of all things in blues. All of that stuff. So I would just try, mostly make sure you're getting your rhythm. Into your 4 chord. Before you get there, of course, just practice in closed position this part of the lick. And moving really to any key. G. And just kind of work that rhythm and know where you're at. I'm hammering on a minor third to a major third, barring the 5. I'm barring 4 and 6. I'm leading into my 5 on bottom, flat 7. And kind of work that shape as one shape, so that you're really grinding. You know, I'm putting a major third. Remember your minor pentatonic. I still see my minor pentatonic. So really try to see that flat 7 in your minor pentatonic, putting your index on there. If that's 4 in your minor pentatonic, realizing a whole step ahead is 5, so that you really see that 5 to flat 7. That's going to get you a lot of miles. A lot of miles. Leading into all of that stuff. So kind of work that. And see where it goes. And then just try to start adding